Alright everyone, welcome to the first semi-final of Historical Rivalries Cup. So, we've seen both of these teams before, but we shall introduce them nonetheless. So, on the left side here of Arabia, we have Ning playing the Indians with Dragon on Mayans. And on the other team, we have Momo, which is these characters by the way, just so you know. Momo on Britons and Huni on Franks. Now, I have a problem right away. Momo and Huni picked the cool colors, the odd numbered colors, which is blue, green, teal, and grey. And they're playing Franks, but they didn't pick blue, they picked green. What the fuck's that? Oh my god, it's like... I can understand Britons being cyan because they don't have access to the correct color of red, but you could have had blue Franks. It's gonna bother me, okay? Also, can we very quickly talk about... Wait. Yeah, one relic here, one relic here, one relic here. Everyone basically has their own relic, and Ning gets two. If this was a Lithuanian matchup, we would have some pretty reasonable map complaints, I think. But anyway, we've seen both these teams before, and both of them have won their games very convincingly. I think these are definitely both top contenders in the tournament in general, and I mean it makes sense they made it to the semifinals. And as you can see, they're both keeping even, and both are just doing general scouting at the moment. No one is really trying to do any weird laming stuff. We're seeing sheep scouting. We're seeing just in general trying to figure out what the map looks like. No one's doing anything like laming or anything like that, just trying to make sure that everything is safe and well set up for the future. We've seen Britons and Franks versus Indians and Mayans, I think, a couple of times by now. They're probably two of the most popular civ pairings in this entire tournament. Two houses going up here in the front for Ning. And same for Dragon, actually. I think these two have really done a lot of practice together. You see a lot of the same tendencies between the two of them. Deer pushing or just passing? Just passing or patrolling amongst the deer, I suppose, making sure they're all safe and happy. We've seen Indians and Mayans versus Britons and Franks, and I think it's a very interesting matchup because Indians are generally thought of as a counter to Franks, but in 1v1s they actually, because Franks are just in general kind of broken, Franks actually still have a really good win rate against them. All they really need to do is add pikes, and well, the camels aren't really a problem. What is this? That sheep I think is already dead, but maybe not actually, because I can't select the boar. Anyway, so it's not as strong as it might seem immediately. The thing is that in a team game, as we're seeing some fighting here, and Momo's scout is very low now, being chased by Ning's. Probably just gonna... Oh, gets one more hit in. If they get another one, that's a dead scout, which is actually pretty important at this point in the game. Unlucky to run into the TC there, but gotta be a little bit careful. But yeah, in team game, pikes are a lot less viable, and the camels are very strong simply because they have pierce armor, so they can kind of fill a knight-esque role. And yeah, Ning just lets her go there when she sees the houses. So they can fill a knight-ish role. They're not as weak against pierce units as normal camels are. And of course they end up being very strong against Frank Knights. Now, I still think there's a lot of potential here because Britain's extra range means they can pick when they want to take engagements. In a straight up slugfest, Mayans are definitely going to be way more powerful. They have very, very good skirmishers, their archers are insanely cheap alongside their insane eco, and they also, their plumed archers have pierce armor and extra HP, which makes them very, very good in a archer v archer fight. So it's gonna be up to, I think, primarily Momo to try to control the game moving forward and actually try to snipe camels as much as is possible. Frank Knights should be able to deal... Oh. What's that? It is loomed, but it is an eagle warrior, so Huni's gonna have to pull a second villager here. And yeah, Dragon sees that and just goes, okay, I'm out. Which is the right call, you don't want to lose the eagle scout. There's a ping from Dragon here pointing out that these These berries are not quite on the front, but they're still not in the back. It's still something that could be attacked. The rest of this is fairly easy to wall. This gold is in a good position. The north here is a little bit troublesome, but we'll see. Everyone's going up to feudal right now. Huni at a very low pop of 19. Or excuse me, 20 I guess. Pop-wise, 19 villagers. And Britons, Momo for Britons, oh, takes down the eagle, that's a very good thing. So eagles, before feudal age, eagles do beat scouts in a 1v1, but if they get damaged, then scouts will outrun them. But yeah, Huni has shot over barracks already and getting that stable up. And shortly thereafter, Ning hits, then Momo, and then finally Dragon. But it's all very, very close. The only one really distinguishing themselves is Huni here with her Frank Berry bonus. So we're seeing double archery range right away from Dragon. With Mayans, you can afford that, no problem. And only one archery range coming out from Momo's Britons. Which is also sort of a thing where you can say, well, they can afford that because their archery ranges produce faster. Ning also going into her own stables. We're seeing pretty typical setups here. The one potential scary thing is, of course, that these two archer ranges is going to do so much to potentially flood. But here's the second archer range from Momo. She's a little bit behind in getting that one up. Getting a spearman out, though, which is one of those things that's a little bit risky. But if you can set up a good push, and I mean, she's actually going to have a good defense here just because Ning right now is alone. Dragon is quite a distance away. She's making her own spearman, and there's an archer or a blacksmith coming up already. I'm gonna get these walls down, but most of the base is not walled yet. Still has an opening here, still has an opening here. This opening is the huge deal because they're gonna run into the TC unless they go over here. So I would like to see this blocked, or just finish the wall, honestly. But yeah, Ning sees the walling, realizes she's going to play defensive, and that Momo's going to play defensive, and just decides to take her scouts over here, see if Huni has an equal amount of defenses. So this is always an interesting matchup, right? Because on one hand, Indians tend to have a little bit more food left over simply because their villagers cost less, so they can afford to keep up scout production with fewer farms and fewer villagers on food. Oh, I think this Baltic was just gonna go down right away. Ning's in with 4 scouts. The counter is, of course, that Franks have higher HP scouts, so in equal numbers Franks should win. And of course they have the berry bonus, so usually they can get up to the next age earlier. Oh, that Vil. I think Huni was just kind of accepting that she's gonna lose that one. And here comes Dragon's reinforcements here. It's not a lot, but it's gonna help prevent them from walling. And they're in! The Palisade wall doesn't go up in time! Oh no! Oh, this is a really bad start! Yeah, I think she was focused on quick walling there, which is why she didn't garrison anything over here. But oh my god, that's a lot of death right away. Yeah, she's down 4 villagers right now. It's kind of a mess here. Scouts from Huni and archers from Dragon kind of battling it out here, and with Ning's meat wall here of scouts, it's gonna make it a lot harder. There's a spearman coming here, but yeah, she just immediately gets sniped here. Some scouts, but I mean, they're stuck between more scouts and a number of archers. At least the berries are done, so they can finally go away from here. They don't have to worry about that. Has to delete a house to get out of here. And Ning pings that, just says like, hey, you can snipe them as they go. Not quite quick enough to react. And here's Momo's own spearman plus archer combo. But she's gonna have to be very careful to micro this, because that spearman could go down very quickly. Okay, they're a little divided here. Ning's just scouting up here, and she has scouts, but a lot of them are very low on HP. So here we go, Momo's microing well, just focus firing down each of these archers in turn. Just Huni trying to throw in her own scout just to give her a little bit of time, and Momo uses that very well. Oh, needs to hit this house, Oh, but oh, there's a hole here, never mind. But that's a lot of scouts down to the combined Briton attack, Briton archers and the TC fire. But it's also a lot of villagers lost and a lot more idle time too. Dragon is two vills behind here, but she's also got a very good economy going. Right, I forget this doesn't actually show how much food there is left. Okay, Ning scouting these out, noticing that, and just saying, I'm probably not gonna engage that. Momo's gonna have to go through here, and she's got a good archer mass, but I mean, it is up against Mayans, and there is this meat shield. And even if the scouts do nothing themselves, just distracting a lot of the archer shots is gonna give the Mayans here a solid advantage. But they're on a hill right now. Spearman does go down, so these scouts are free to go forward. But they're going up against the hill, and yeah, right now they're realizing they can't really engage because the Mayan archers are a little bit behind. One dead scout. Two dead archers. Two dead scouts. I mean, she's doing a good job of keeping out of archer fire here, but yeah, now we're down to a pretty close match, and that's actually really well done by Momo. That was some really good micro. Looks like she's gonna clear this up, and that actually kind of swings Momo and Huni forward. However, both Ning and Dragon are going up to castle, and neither Momo nor Huni are really actually close to clicking up. They have the buildings, but nothing near the amount of resources needed to do so. I mean, Momo is getting up a market now. She has a lot of gold floating, but even so, it's gonna be a solid 2 minutes or so behind, even if she just immediately buys up. And I mean, Huni had her own problems, and it's gonna have to reconstruct her eco as best she can now. We're entering a bit of a lull in the action, and I think if you see this happening, you kinda... I mean, it's hard to make that decision when you're in the player's seat, right? But I think you have to go forward and try to attack now, because you've been doing really well with that. Putting down a third archer range and going after castle, that's good. But she's gonna have to really survive for a little bit, and while she's surviving, I mean, Huni's even worse off. Hasn't clicked up yet, so it should be soon. Now, at least that market should give her some vision of her teammate. Looks like Dragon has her market up, Ning does not. Putting down another stable, we're up to 3 now, so we might see a free stable commitment here to camels. Huni should be able to click up, and I think she queued it behind the villager, yeah. Dragon and Ning click up at 1 second apart, or not click up, excuse me, get up at 1 second apart. They've got these skirms and archers forward. Those could be crossbows in 7 seconds. Baltic coming in very shortly afterwards. And we're seeing scale barding coming in now from Huni, so she's preparing to go into knights, but it's gonna be hard against camels that are already out on the field. They've got scale barding themselves alongside bloodlines. But I definitely think that Momo and Huni are quite significantly behind now. It's gonna... I think a lot of it's going to come down to archer play from Momo, just seeing how much she can get done with her crossbow bodkin play. Camels are just grouping up over here, and yeah, Dragon and Ning, they know that Huni is very far behind. They could heap on pressure there if they wanted, but there's not really too much point. She's had to play defensively, she's going to be behind in the boom. And there's an actual archer mass here that they need to deal with. Crossbow and bodkin coming in right away. Indian camels do deal extra damage against buildings, and I mean, this is already just a palisade gate. She's gonna plug it up with a hole. See if Dragon might notice that. With a house, sorry. Bodkin is almost in. These are Britain crossbows now. Getting the eco upgrades while we're at it too, so she's gonna have quite a solid one. But no second TC yet. A university coming up right away. I really like that play. She knows that they're behind, knows that they're gonna have to take some fights. If they just settle into booming, then Indians plus Mayans they're gonna do a lot better. Even with Britain cheaper town centers. It's a lot of work to get there. Huni actually coming into Castle Age now and is gonna start producing knights from Free Stables Heart 2. No chain barding coming in quite yet, but I imagine that should be soon. The lead stat plug house, and he's gonna try to move forward. No ballistics from Dragon quite yet. And these camels, they have one upgrade, they don't have chain barding either. Ballistics isn't quite yet, and she's kind of announcing her presence here. She's a little bit worrying, because now she's gonna get flanked out. Yeah, she's in a really bad position now. Has to micro back, and I mean, these camels, they don't do a lot of damage, but they're gonna soak a lot of projectiles here from Momo's crossbows. And it doesn't matter if you have extra range when you're in melee. Mayan's cheaper crossbows is gonna do so much here, and I think that's just gonna be her entire army gone. The fact that Dragon doesn't have ballistics is helping, but it's still up against camels that can just push the issue, get in there. 4 knights. 4 knights without chain barding is coming in here, and they're up against a larger number of camels and just a big force here. And they're just sending everything now. 2 spearmen, 1 scout. At least getting a little bit of a hill advantage here, but now that hill advantage is turning against them. And they're gonna have to be pushed back. They're not terribly far behind in eco now, only 14 vills and some more crossbows coming out here. This is free archery range play from Britons with their faster archery ranges already, and it's gonna be a 4th one. So I think it's just a commitment to try to make this work, try to get more crossbows out, and maybe you can take a fight. I would consider getting a siege workshop, but it is gonna be hard with these camels. And now they're just coming over here. They're realizing that Huni isn't quite as dead as they thought, so they are gonna make a push in here. These are siege camels. They do extra damage towards buildings, so it's gonna be a good push in the air. Just these knights standing a little bit closer for a second, but it looks like they're gonna be fine. Just 1 knight in this stable, so it's not really gonna be the redemption they need. Not quite yet. No upgrades are coming in currently. I still would like to see Dragon consider getting a university up. Camels are coming in here, and I mean, knights can meet you a little bit. Ballistics now finally coming in for Dragon. Should do a lot to catch these fleeing driven crossbows. And I mean, again, camels are not the best anti-crossbow unit, but they will do very well here, just because they actually managed to get up here. And if Momo tries to stand and fight, the Mayan crossbows are gonna catch up. So now we're dealing with quite a mass. I mean, they're at least thinning out the camels. That's genuinely quite good. So maybe if Huni could get a siege workshop down, then we could start looking into a potential mangonel play here. Getting a second TC up here, pretty good spot too. Securing some extra gold. But now, Dragon has the hill, and is kind of just raining death down. They're not pinging back, they want to just get in here and make sure that Huni can't get up to a decent number of knights. Because right now, Momo's done really well trying to keep these camel numbers down. She's been out of position a few times and lost a lot of crossbows, lost a lot of mass. But as far as actually thinning out camel numbers, she's been doing well. But it depends on Huni actually getting to a good amount of knights, and I don't think that can happen right now. I mean, this is a scary number of crossbows when you don't have siege on the field. It's pretty scary anyway, to be honest. More camels, and I mean, the boom is going really well for Ning and Dragon now. 3 TCs for Ning with those cheaper vills, and Dragon on 3 TCs as well with longer lasting resources. I mean, this is the point where you have to say that I think the eco is just going to be better for these 2 civs. Another surround here with camels, 1 knight here trying to do his best, but again we're out of position. Not quite enough of a critical mass of crossbows to actually kill these camels in good time. They have to abandon the push against Huni again though. A single militia here from Dragon just bashing the stable. I think that might have been unintentional. Either that or it's kind of BM. But yeah, right now, it's not looking good for Momo and Huni. The Vil difference is now 30 between the teams, a little over it in fact, and that gap is just gonna get wider and wider. Here's the Siege Workshop from Huni, but it's a lot of camels. Like, at this point, if this was a 1v1 game, you could consider getting into, like, Pike Siege to try to deal with this. But with the added benefit of the fact that, you know, there's micro for 2 separate groups here, that's gonna be really hard, to say the least. These camels can just, like if they need to, they're so far ahead in eco that they can sacrifice 15 camels to get down a mangonel just to protect Dragon's mass here. We might even be seeing Imperial Age before too long here from Dragon, and I mean, Arbalest, Chemistry, Bracer is gonna be pretty much the end of any hope to try to get mangonels in there. You could start looking into ramps at that point, but you're not gonna be psyched about it either way. And I mean, obsidian arrows no longer a thing, but I mean these are just enough crossbows that they can actually take down the stable in pretty good time. And I mean, the one good thing they've got going for them is that Momo's been able to boom okay-ishly. It's only been on Huni, but Huni's been so crushed by this that it's really hard to come back. And the Imperial Age click is in for Dragon. In about 3.5 minutes we're gonna have Brazier Arbalests and Chemistry about a minute after that. I don't think there's a way back once they get that, because then they can just outrange the Mangonels. And kill them very, very fast. Ping from Dragon pointing out where the remains of the army of Momo Huni is. But Camels are now, looks like they're thinking about getting in on Momo's eco here. I mean, I think that's fair. Second TC coming up here, but it is quite late. And it is going to delay Imperial Age if she chooses to boom. But actually, Momo is going up to Imp 2. It's still going to be about a minute behind. And going up against the larger mass. But there is potential there to get to her own Bracer, Arbalest, Chemistry. Get that extra range on her archers from the age up. But I mean, this versus this is still looking pretty bad for Momo. If you really micro your brains out, you can do it, but I don't know how this siege works from Dragon. I mean, I get that they want to pressure here, but at this point I think they could just run in with camels and take it down. And I mean, you're not going to do much with siege against Britain crossbows. You can do rams, that's true, but yeah, I don't know if that's the... Okay, they are going for rams, not mangonels, which is fair enough. Like, that's reasonable, but I don't think it's necessary. Imp now coming in from Ning too, and just a crazy amount of camels here. Some at least good pickups here from Momo, but she's been eclipsed and scored by Ning, which is the lower of the two on Ning and Dragon's team. And Bracer is on the way, not Arbalest quite yet, focusing on getting capped ram. So just gonna make those Briton crossbows even harder to actually utilize properly. You either just have to let them shoot the ram, or take a lot of overkill by manually clicking each of these. Arbalest there, Ring Archer Armor. No Chemistry coming in quite yet. I like to start that early just because it takes so long. And there's the get out of my game castle. Gonna range 2 golds in a town center. I mean, I don't even know. Yeah, she doesn't have gold in her base anymore. And here's probably the final fight of the game. Knights are coming in. They're doing okay. And at least Arbalest isn't in quite yet, but here it is. There's Arbalest. And those knights, they've got chain barding at last, of course, but oh, they're gonna get stuck up against here. Need to delete some palisade walls. Or just try to take this fight, but they're being bombarded by Arbalests here, and that is... I think that's game. Yeah, no, that's not something you come back from. Camels are actually losing a lot. It looks like Momo was actually focusing on the camels to try to give Huni a chance to get her knights into play. But I mean, against this amount of Mayan Arbalests, knights just aren't gonna do it. Paladins, maybe, but knights not so much. At that point, the danger is honestly less camels and more the Arbalests. But yeah, Momo and Huni call to GG. Ning and Dragon take the first game, and we'll be moving on to Momo and Huni's home map, which I think... I forget actually, it wasn't Valley, was it? No, it's Baltic! Okay. I'm excited for that. I think that's the first time anyone's picked Baltic here. So, we will see what kind of strats they go for. I think Baltic is pretty specific of a map, so I feel like there might be some planned strat here. Yeah, a lot of talking here. Oh, I had to go to the toilet, I think. So, on one side, we've got Momias and Berbers, a pretty popular pick overall, and not something I'm too surprised to see here. Like, both of these teams are quite good, actually, or both of the civs are quite good at water, right? Because on Berbers, you have faster ships, which helps a lot for Fire Galley, in particular. But you can also just use it for, like, Galley, Micro, Hit and Run sort of stuff. And Malians don't scale well into the late game because they lack Bracer, they lack Galleon. And Capture H is having a bit of an issue here, but it looks like it's caught up now. They don't scale great, but they can slap down early docks thanks to their wood discounts and start getting out pretty quickly. They've got a good early ecos, so nothing too much to worry about that. But yeah, Ning here in Berbers and Dragon on Malians. Interestingly, we have a kind of different map setup as or compared to last game, because Dragon and Momo are quite close to each other, and Ning and Teuton, or excuse me, Huni is, they're both also quite close to each other, so we could definitely see some serious aggression here. Looks like we spawn with cows, by the way. I believe Baltic is, for those of you who know it, is very close to Mediterranean, but I don't think they spawn extra. Like in Mediterranean, you might find extra sheep out here, for example, in neutral zones. But yeah, for Baltic, it's a little bit more to the point. A relic here on an island, interestingly enough. So we're just gonna try to get to the fish in the middle and try to dominate water, but you have the chance to sneak around here, especially these spawns and how close they are to each other. You can definitely try for a land play, and I think maybe that might end up being around Castle Age. That could probably be the strat for Teutons and Berbers here. Teutons and Italians, by the way, it's an interesting Civ matchup, right? Because they are a little bit lacking in terms of mobility overall. Italians kind of go into that, like, they can definitely play a little bit like Portuguese in the sense, or Chinese, in that they can do whatever, really. Like, they have a very open tech tree. The biggest thing they're missing are halberdiers. But you will probably want to play them as archers, that's where they specialize. So, and combine that with the fact that Teutons, you can definitely play cavalry as Teutons. They have some of the best knights in the game after all, but they lack light cavalry, they lack husbandry, and most of their core units are very slow. Compare that to Berbers and Malians that go fast. Like, yes, Malians you can definitely play as infantry and archer, but you also have fantastic cavalry. Same thing with Berbers. I would say Berbers are like top 3 at least in terms of cavalry civs. So there's a lot of mobility potential there, but the counterpoint is that for Italians and Teutons, you can just transport, right? Like, transporting across here, dropping some knights here, and just running into the land eco could be very devastating. So we'll see what sort of strats are being done here. Okay. Classic thing, right, on maps where you want to dock early but there's a land connection, you want to get shorefish and just drop it off at the dock, but if you don't wall, then your dock villager is gonna get hit. But yeah, right now everyone has a dock up. There's a slight difference in how many fishing ships are out. Ning is in the lead, Dragon coming second, alongside Momo, and it looks like Huni got her fishing ship out a little bit later, but I don't think it's a considerable difference. Everyone looks like they're just, for now, collecting their herdables and setting up for the feudal age. Dragon, right now, actually got fairly solidly... Oh! Momo getting a little bit greedy here. They're taking a scout fight, and it looks like the Malian scout cav here from Dragon is gonna take it. I think she just got the first hit in, and there was no particular maneuvering there. No trying to get hill bonuses or anything. Just kind of in a relatively flat area. Seeing some walling start off here from Huni, so maybe a little bit worried about the land play, but that might cost her a bit in terms of getting the requisite number of ships out. I mean, it's not a huge investment, but it is an investment. It moves the needle. That could be worrying. Okay, Dragon clicks up here. It's on the highest amount of vills too, which I believe does include fishing ships. Like, let's see, she has about 20, it looks like, as far as actual village. Oh, 21, and then yeah, 4 fishing ships. So, it looks like she pulled off the early eco better. Momo and Huni click up around the same time, but 20 seconds off from each other, and Ning is in the middle there between those two. So definitely Dragon and Ning are gonna come into feudal age here a bit earlier. Gonna be able to utilize those early eco bonuses from Malians to get a good amount of ships out. On Baltic, we tend mostly... Oh, just passing, by the way. Oh, no, gonna get shot. But does she lose it? I think not, actually, no. Oh, she went straight! Never go straight! Straightness is a trap! But yeah, no, making sure to not have any land shenanigans going on. I mean, again, Berber's hitting Castle Age in particular could be very, very scary all of a sudden. And 2 ducks from Momo, 2 ducks from Dragon, 1 duck from Ning, 2 ducks now coming up from Huni. So, with the fact that Ning only has 1 duck, I wonder if she's looking... Yeah, there's a barracks up. Nothing producing yet, but I'm gonna guess it's gonna go into stable. Let's see. Yep, there's the stable coming up, so it's gonna try to get scouts out, just using her own fishing eco. So, in theory, Dragon and Ning should lose out on water. So this is actually a really good wall. If they can get it up in time, which I think they should be able to finish off. Scouts should start producing any second now. There we go. She did lose her early scout, which is a little bit unfortunate when you're going for a scout rush, but it's not a huge deal. But yeah, the problem right now, right, is that Dragon is alone on water, and these are free docks here, which... First off, it's a big investment for sure, but if she can win water, and there's 2 fire galleys versus 2 fire galleys, good focus fire here. It's a little bit of micro, but I think it's a bit early to do so. Gonna take some extra damage here, and it's now gonna retreat, get the third fire galley. A third duck coming out from Dragon, no assistance from Ning, and some coming over from Huni right now. But yeah, the thing is, like, this is a huge investment for sure, free ducks. Especially when you're gonna keep making fire galleys. Good micro! Oh! Fancy! No, that's really good. The thing is now, too, that with them looking like they're gonna take land, or water, excuse me, these 3 dogs can just start churning out fishing ships all day long. I mean, Italians have super cheap ones, too. And then cheaper gill nets, too, while we're at it. And it's looking like it's gonna be a pretty convincing victory here. Huni doesn't even need to come in here. Oh, but the demo! Oh, that's a really good demo. And 3 fire galleys are now out for Dragon. Huni needs to come in here, and there needs to be some target fire. Now it's 4 versus 2, 4 versus 3 when these come in, 4 versus 4 again. Some seriously damaged ships though. Huni might just go past here and try to snipe some fishing ships perhaps. Either that or she just kind of missed it. Second demo ship coming in here. Raft, technically. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be hard to match up against the production of Momo at this point. Does arguably have the better eco, just from the fact that Malian have discounted wood buildings. Oh, there's some good demos, and another one coming in. This could sink 2 or 3 ships if this connects properly. Oh no! It absolutely does! That is... Okay, Dragon is doing so much with the little she has. Oh, a tower rush now coming in from Ning on the left side, realizing that the scouts can't get in, so just gonna push her off of 1 wood line. That's about 100 wood lost just there, and maybe down the line might actually break in with the scouts, but I mean... Are we seeing more demos? Yeah, 2 demos. I mean, that could honestly... If they get a really good hit, or 2 really good hits, that could equalize this entire fight. Momo has not really been on the ball when it comes to demo rafts specifically, and they're kind of grouping up again, so I'm really worried. Another one being queued up too, and there's a third one, or 4th one actually at this point. And oh no, Huni might also end up grouping up in the same place. The demolition raft is out from the dock. The fight is on, but they're gonna lose a lot of fire galleys here for Dragon. Oh, okay, that was completely fine because they just hit the outside. Second wall has come up here with these houses. Might want to invest in a counter tower. Wouldn't be the worst thing. Sending up a barracks for now. I don't think you want to fight this. I think you just want to delay. Huni going up to Castle Age. And I mean, that could be so devastating. Berbers can definitely counter Tooth and Cav in Castle Age, but we just scouts. Not really, no. Oh, another demo coming in. Doesn't kill anything though. You need 2 demos to get a single kill. And, you know, it happens, I guess. But yeah, now, the problem is that, like, she's just producing so many demo rafts and so few fire galleys that, like, Momo doesn't necessarily need to keep up production here. Yeah, and I think with Huni coming into Castle Age, she's probably going to want to focus on the land play and try to leave Momo to actually do most of the water play, what with those faster, or with those cheaper Italian duck attacks. I think there's potential here. Okay, Dragon is going into Castle Age and is gonna do so before Momo's Italians. I was gonna say otherwise, there's definitely potential to just go into Galleons here, or War Galleys more accurately, and just not have to worry about demo routes, because, I mean, yeah, here comes another one, by the way. And at this point, like, it's technically doing damage, but you've lost all your fishing ships, you've kinda lost... You're gonna need a lot of demo rafts to try to equalize this. An outpost coming in now, locking in this single spearman, and Huni's in the Castle Age. What is she gonna do with it? Momo's coming up too, only gonna be about 30 seconds, or even 25 seconds behind Dragon from going up there, and I mean, Ning still has a little bit of a way to go. Getting up on market now as her second building, and probably just gonna buy her way up, I think. She has a lot of food, which could be extremely scary. Like, I mean, she hasn't actually been raided yet on water, which is a little bit of a mistake actually from Huni and Momo, but I can understand making that mistake for sure. So, we're seeing two stables, Knights coming out. Tutor Knights are gonna do okay against Berber Knights. The problem starts when it becomes Berber Camels. So just sieging down these ducks for now. There's just one demo raft in here, and doesn't look like Dragon is actually gonna make more. They might just decide to switch entirely into land play now. Dragon's in now to castle. Ning pinging over here. Yeah, I was gonna see if she was gonna try to get more demo rats out, or if she was gonna try to secure the shoreline some other way. But yeah, doesn't look like it. These fishing ships are finally found out. Huni is gonna say, no, you have a lot of food, you're gonna have to start sharing. And Ning is going up now, but she's gonna be behind. House gets deleted, so it looks like these Teuton Knights are gonna be coming out now. Only got the one upgrade right now, but that's fine. Actually tries to go for that spearman and then realizes, oh, she locked that one in for me. Yeah, it's very tight over here right now, so they're gonna do one fight at a time. I think I just like to break off like 2 knights to just fight this tower, and then send the rest forward to start looking into raiding. Potentially even try for a landing. And yeah, that looks like it's gonna be the end of Dragon and Ning's attempt at going onto water, so now we're gonna have to see a land play. I would love to see stone walls just across this at this point. Dragon putting up 2 extra town centers. They are cheaper with Malians, just a little bit, on the wood cost. And yeah, Huni sending forward the knights now. Stone walls coming up for Ning. And she's gonna be in castle now in just a sec, but they're quite behind on Nico. I mean, this is a lot of fishing ships, and they could produce many more if they wanted to. And yeah, Momo's forward now with crossbows, making sure that she doesn't ignore that. Some more coming out from the Malian player here on Dragon. Takes down that scout. I think that might have been the free HP scout from earlier. Yeah, so she's realized now that, like, yes, they're off water. Now we have to make sure that we don't lose land. Huni trying to help here, but it's gonna at best delay just a little bit. Yeah, the scout is gonna take care of that. Huni's not quite sure what to do here, because yeah, she does have to be quite worried about the Berber camel spam. And I mean, Ning is just gonna fully stonewall up, which I think is the right choice. Oh my god, look at this double palisade wall. It's beautiful. Yeah, I would be very careful as Huni. Like, she has to be ready for camel spam. She has to be ready to switch into pikes and perhaps longswords. Just to have something to actually defend her knights. But otherwise, I mean, they should still be ahead in eco by quite a bit. They have the potential to just make more fishing ships. Again, Momo and her Italians should be very well suited to that. There's a landing! Oh my god! Bloodline's also a little bit late, but that's fine. I mean, these 5 knights could do so much damage. Ning is in the middle of trying to just expand her eco, but her farms, there's so few farms, and most of these are not near any sort of protection. Like, this stone could just be destroyed, this gold could just be destroyed. Let's see them. They don't have husbandry, but they are still knights. See if Ning notices. She does, she does. She knows that the landings come in now, and only does lose one villager, but she's off of gold. In the meantime, just burning down houses on the shorelines here. This is gonna keep blinking, you can just be aware of that, but... Yeah, scrambling up the stables now in view of town centers, but she's getting a little bit antsy from these knights being so close. And I mean, you could definitely just suck up the... Like, she has chain barding, she can just suck up town center fire for now. Get as many kills as she can, and oh, that's a devastating raid! Pushed off of another wood line now. 3 TCs is a little bit of an investment when you're up against people with fish eco. A real fish boom. And getting a 4th TC now. How are you gonna supply that? You have 0 on food. They're going back now, but that's a good raid. That's a hell of a good raid. Even got knights over here now to make sure that she can help up against dragon's crossbows. It's good team play for sure. Also just keeping some fire galleys out here, making sure that there are no redocks. They're just gonna be annoying here on the houses. The knights are coming in, and I think they're actually outnumbered now. That's 12 crossbows over here and 19 over here. Siege Worship going up, full defensive play now from Dragon and Ning. See if they can actually survive this. Camels are out, and it looks like they finally did mop up the Teuton Knights. But certainly that was well worth it, especially when they now are just switching over to the right side, pushing Dragon. They're taking some counterfire for sure, but they have to be wary. They have to be wary of this Siege Workshop in particular. Fortified wall! Oh my god. That is a quick fortified wall, and Momo's going up to Imperial right away. That cheaper Italian age up really coming in clutch here. Just gotta be real careful. I think she knows that... Excuse me. Yeah, she knows the Siege Workshop is there, and she can now see the flags, so she has to be so careful not to lose these crossbows, because they could be Arbalists with Bracer. And Arbalists with Bracers do real well against Mangonels, it turns out, as long as you pay attention. I mean, this is a really tough situation for Ning and Dragon. You can tell that Huni and Momo knew what home map they were on. I mean, both of them are just out of any sort of food. This castle is even a little bit conservative, like it's gonna range this goal, but honestly she could put it further forward. Archery range is more and more coming up now. Ning and Dragon is a long time away from actually dealing with that castle at all. Tower is down over here with the help of a lone Teuton Knight. They're just kind of being annoying here, taking out the houses that are outside of the walls. No fortified wall in for Ning yet, but you gotta love... African fortified walls are so pretty. Like, oh my god, I love them so much. They're so cool and we rarely get to see them. Because, you know, no one actually researches fortified wall outside of Black Forest, but you know, it is what it is. This castle in particular is gonna make things so much harder for Dragon, because Genoese crossbowmen is like, they're really good. Like, you need to be ahead to actually start pumping them out in a solid amount of time, but they are so useful. And it means Dragon can't actually try to switch into any sort of knight or cavalry play, and yeah, just everything is in right away, Bracer, Arbalest, Chemistry. Yeah, that's gonna be tough to counter, I think. This little landing transport's coming over here. Just gonna keep putting pressure on here. The Spearman is still going, by the way. He's doing his darndest. But yeah, Genoese Crossbowman is gonna basically shoot down any counterplay here. Like, Malians are fine early as far as archer play goes, but they lack Bracer. And that's kind of huge when Italians are in Imp before you. Dragon is gonna click up to Imperial Age, but she's gonna have to do some major work to get back here. I mean, there's a landing here now. Bruna might get in, and there's a castle up for Dragon. But she has a lot of potentially exposed eco, even just idle time and bumpage. I mean, this is quite tight as far as actual resource gathering is going right now. Trebuchet is out, probably gonna try to take down a wall or perhaps the siege workshop. Yeah, it looks like she's aiming for the siege workshop. And on the other side, rams take down the fortified wall. These can now move in, and more layers of walls are being set up here. Capture H does not like it for unknown reasons. Yeah, just a lot of raiding going on here. These are doing the best they can. I don't... yeah, Momo's gone ballistics, but Dragon actually hasn't, so these are gonna do pretty well. The Mangonels are now out, and they're just taking down more archery ranges with their rams. They're capped rams now, so they're gonna do a lot in pushing this. Huni actually ends up being the last two Imperial Age, which might pose a little bit of a problem, actually. I mean, they need to get this castle down. They need to not die to this Mangonel. Gotta be a little bit careful. Dodges out of the way, and then, yeah, just kills it dead. Condottiero coming in, which is just... In this point, you don't really want Condottiero for what they're actually supposed to do, aka the anti-gunpowder. You just want it because it's more or less a champion, but you don't have to upgrade it. These trebuchets are getting attacked here though, and just trying to navigate this labyrinth of walls. Momo Huni come in here, Momo in particular I suppose, taking down this archer force, and 3 trebuchets are now in. Huni's just raiding away. I mean, this looks really dark for Dragon. She got up to Imperial Age, but what's the game plan now? Maybe a Ning swing with a lot of knights and cavalier, but I mean, if we see Genoese crossbowmen come out, that could just entirely stifle that. Stable's not coming out forward from Huni, so if if you're hoping for an end to the knight raids, it's not coming anytime soon. It's another Italian castle, which means we've got some potential for mass production of Genoese. Just one more trebuchet shot, and that castle goes down. Dragon's forces are just being slaughtered, and Huni's an imp now. And I mean, you have to be a little bit worried about Ning's kind of insane boom here, but is it worth it if you lose your teammate? Got some good amounts of camels and well, knights for now, but cavalier is coming in shortly. And I mean, this is Dragon's these are Dragon's forces now. Do have to note that Molium do get extra pierce armor, but they're still not the best choice against archers, as you might be able to spot here. Yeah, it's just really hard to get over this tech disadvantage. Like, yes, they're all in imp, but Dragon has so little to actually save for that. Like, yeah, okay, you're an imp, you have the extra pierce armor, you can research stuff, but, you know, can you though? Do you have the resources? Do you have the production buildings anymore? I mean, you have a bunch of barracks, I'll give you that, but they're so scattered. The enemy is everywhere in your base, and oh my god, she's rebooming over here. Good choice, but... well, it's just gonna get more and more cramped. Resources are gonna run out eventually, and they don't have the fishing eco. And probably never will again, if I had to guess. At least they do have Cavalier now. No heavy camel quite yet, but Iron Casting is coming in. They have plate barding. With enough numbers, they could stand to do something against these crossbow or arbalests now. But it's gonna be a lot of numbers, especially when you realize that these are not Indian camels. They do not have any notable amount of pierce armor. They should just get slaughtered by masses of arbalests, but oh, they might be able to take a downhill fight here, which could be huge. Oh my god, with Ning's eco behind this could be a never-ending Berber flood of knights. And yeah, Huni's just not quite there in time to properly stop Ning from surrounding here. And look at the spam! These are some of the most costly base units in the game, and yeah, they're just coming forward like nobody's business. Blast Furnace is on its way. It's just slowly getting rid of these arbalests. Still top score. Still got far more overall military, and is keeping an eye on where Dragon is trying to reboom. But that's an arbalest mass just gone. Huni is now moving in over here, alongside Momo actually. just taking over the gold piles that were here. And I mean, that's another big thing about the move, right? She has 2 gold piles to actually work with right now. It's not great. It's definitely not great. The fortified wall was nice, but it didn't last forever. Scouts now coming up from Huni, but that's not gonna do much, is it? No, she needs to switch into Halberdier as soon as possible. These trebuchets are gonna go down, and that's quite an investment. But Momo should just be able to fall back to the castles, should just be able to get out either more paladins or just go into Halb. Pikemen coming in from Momo, but she doesn't get Halberdier. Italians don't get Halberdier. They're the only European civ apart from Vikings to not get Halberdier. And that's kind of a disaster against Berber fully upgraded cheaper Cavalier. That is not the kind of matchup you want. As long as it's just Cavalier and Huni can match in number, I mean, she has 47 Cavalier, this should actually be fine. But if Ning starts switching into camels, or this fight just goes on long enough that her cheaper units actually come into good use, it's gonna be a problem. That's for darn sure. I would still really like to see Genoese crossbowmen though. Like, they would be so useful here. Just going forward here, mixing in pikes now, that should help. But Cavalier, cheaper Cavalier, it's quite useful against... Oh, got some idols over here as far as military is concerned. Dragon is just trying her darndest to actually boom back. These barriers are over here. You could actually send it forward some and take out this trebuchet, but I don't think it's much of a long-term investment, exactly. Okay, hitting farms now, just trying to salt the earth as much as possible. Yeah, Capture Age is not... Capture Age has trouble with long games, is what I hear, and yeah, it is unfortunate. Taking this hill could be quite important. They're just making sure to castle this one, although haven't done so yet. I think they had to retreat, like they put up the castle foundation, then had to retreat, and haven't been able to actually go back to set it up now. Camel archers now being mixed in from Ning. I did see her on stone quite early, and University now being absolutely rushed up. Gonna get some use out of that Malian team bonus for faster universities. Some Condottiero coming in here. But they're not gonna do too much against heavy cavalry, especially not without any upgrades, apart from, I think... Is that just Pavise? No, Pavise isn't in yet. To be fair, Pavise isn't super useful when you're just going into melee fights. Like, melee units like Cavalier are still gonna beat you. No offense. I mean, Ning's score is really impressive given the lack of fish eco in particular. And yeah, this little straight path here could be very much a problem to actually push for Momo and Huni. I would kind of like to see cannon galleons start coming out. Start bombarding these stables and castles and even eco buildings. And there are free dragon Malian ducks here, so potentially there's some hope to get back on the water. There is still quite a bit of fish. No reason not to, really, apart from the fact that you haven't been able to get there for a while. The camel archers are now mixed in. It's gonna make them a lot more resistant towards this. Oh, is that box formation? I think it was box formation, or at least a little bit of a homemade variant of box formation. Yeah, a lot of pikes. The main problem right now is I would like to see Huni and Momo just boom up a little bit more, because there is danger from this late game Berber army. Lead camel archers just being made in good amounts of numbers here. 3 castles now, I believe, from Ning. Still missing some defense upgrades. She has picked up ballistics, which is quite important. Gonna be a big fight here. These pikemen are not halberdiers. And oh yeah, this is actually a Malian castle. And they're fighting uphill, and it's kind of a mess. It's kind of just a blood grinder here. More pikes and condos coming in here, but these are largely unupgraded. They're not halbs, and you kind of need halbs now. Okay, Genoese are starting to come in. They're not elite yet, and they're in such a small number that Ning is actually going to be able to push back here. that's gonna be a good surround here. Like, I don't know if there's much they can do at this exact moment. Thinking about sending forward a Treb, but then that fight happens and they decide against it. More Arbalists are being streamed in, but yeah, we need more Genoese and we need them to be upgraded. Pavise, yeah, Pavise is coming in now alongside Conscription, which was unfortunately missing up until now. Berbers have the cheapest hussars in the game. They don't need gold. And unless there's a good amount of either Teuton Halbs or Genoese crossbowmen mixed into the army, they can do just fine against Arbalists. Another castle coming up here from Momo and one coming up from Ning. So that, yeah, that's gonna be her third castle to produce Berber Camel Archers from. And I mean, these units are really strong. They're a little bit low on Pierce armor right now, but it turns out the push is actually working in Ning and Dragon's favor here. They're coming through, they're trying to set up a little bit of a blockade here, Momo is, but I mean, these are cavalry, they can just run through if they want to. Gonna be losing another mass of archers. I mean, she's producing a lot now, but this is a really impressive push from Ning and Dragon. There's some hidden rams over here. Yeah, pikemen are being mixed in. Like, Dragon is doing her best to contribute with her own pikemen, her own 200 swordsmen. She doesn't even have plate bar or plate mail armor yet. But it doesn't really seem like she needs to. Ning is doing the pushing and it's working out. The scores between the teams are almost equalized. And hussars can just run through. It's okay if she loses most of these. These fire galleys are getting some use now, apparently. Or at least being awoken. A lot of villagers being sent forward, probably to try to set up some forward castles. But seeing Huni make Teuton's scout cav is not the nicest. Oh, there's some stone back here. That was never mind, by the way. But the hussar raids are now starting to come in, so I think we're gonna see the score lead actually flip in just a second. I mean, Teuton Scout Cav do have extra... Oh, Elite Genoese Crossman, that's a really good upgrade. Teuton Scout Cav do have extra melee armor, but they're not gonna really compare to Berber Hussars. They're cheaper and they're actually Hussars. I mean, the Light Cav upgrade alone is kind of huge. Cavalier being mixed in, and there's an attempt here to get some Arbalists in, but there was just no wall. And yeah, Ning just did a smart thing, realizing that she doesn't need to actually kill the castles. She can do that if she wants to, and she is now, but Hussars can just run past. It doesn't matter, they don't have walls behind this. Turns out the dragon walls were the thing that Momo and Huni really were missing here, but these Elite Genoese Crossmen could actually turn it back now. I think when we start seeing siege coming out from Ning, that's when you have to be really worried. These Elite Genoese Crossmen should do really well against Camel Archers, especially ones that do still not have armor upgrades. Why not? Why not get Leather Archer armor and Ring Archer armor? Make them so much more useful, especially against the Arbalists. I mean, I can understand not wanting to do them now, because you're up against Genoese and the bonus damage is going to be the big thing there. But now we've got a mass of pikes and infantry that actually soak really well. Oh my god, Ning and Dragon are really revolutionizing Berbers and Malians. This is such a cool strat. They're using infantry as meat shields against archers. This is not a comp that should work, but because it's Malians and because it's kind of everything that Dragon can do right now, it's actually working. Look at this. Elite Genoese are really good against cavalry archers, but they don't have the pierce armor. So if they're not targeting the cavalry archers, then they're the ones losing out on it. Oh my god. So more good raids here coming in from Huni. But, I mean, I don't think it's gonna compare against Hussar raids. With this Genoese crossbowmen, with ballistics and everything, they can actually do something. And oh my god, Ning has 107 huge Hussars. Okay, I'm sorry, the castle goes down and that's really important. I need to look at her stables. Yeah, no, I see why she has that many cute. Okay, yeah, I mean, as mentioned, they are actually cheaper than Magyar Lycan. So yeah, that's a lot of hussars, and I mean, this is a really cost-efficient counter to hussars, but you know, hand cannoneers are cost-effective against Huskarls, but if there's 100 Huskarls and 20 hand cannoneers, the Huskarls are gonna win. Yeah, again, it's just such a good idea to mix in these Malian pikemen, just get so much value out of them blocking these Genoese crossbowmen projectiles. I think she might need to mix in hand cannons? I don't know, this is a really tricky situation. If Huni could get to a good number of heavy cav, not scout cav, or maybe just halbs in front, this could be more useful, but as it stands, they're being pushed back a lot. Ning and Dragon has taken a solid score lead now. They can do a little bit here and just using the old fortified walls here. I think Dragon might want to delete them when she gets the chance. Yeah, there she goes. But there's still a tiny delay here, and the stone walls are coming up, so that's good. That's really good. It's going to help prevent hussar raids for a little bit. But I mean, at this point, Ning has full control over what used to be a dragon's face, and she could just wheel in trebuchets when she wanted to. Like, what is... Oh my god, skirmishers now too. Elite skirmisher is 30 seconds away, but... Okay. I mean, that's a plan. But I think it's just showing that they're starting to have problems with gold. I saw Caravan come in a while ago, so... I don't know. Oh my god, yeah. Capture is just not happy with this amount of late game. It's a lot of pikemen. I mean, kudos to Dragon for rebooming like this. That's really impressive. Yeah, as I said, the trebuchets have not just been wheeled in. There's nothing stopping them from just being here and battering down these stone walls. Second layer now coming up, I think. I mean, yeah, you're gonna have to push it back a bit, right? Yeah, just... It's so sad to see a Teuton being reduced to using Scout Cav. Like, that's not fun. You don't want to be in that spot. These skirms are gonna help a bit, but I'm not sure if Genoese crossbowmen actually get bonus damage against spikemen. Other archers do, so I wouldn't be surprised if they did. I mean, this is just a crazy mass of hussars, and I don't think there's... Genoese crossbowmen are really good against cavalry, but you kinda need something in front, else they're just gonna get swallowed up by the mass, and that's exactly what's happening. A single monk here taking over a Genoese crossbowman, and there you go, we have a... For about 2 microseconds, we had a Malian Genoese crossbowman. I mean, this is kind of a slaughter at this point. Ning and Dragon is just absolutely taking back the military lead now. Taking back the momentum in particular, and Teuton halberdiers are now coming forward. They don't have plate mail quite yet, and they don't have blast furnace. But they are halberdiers, and that's gonna help. They are Teuton halberdiers, so they're gonna have a lot of armor. But with this mass of camel archers in particular, that's still pretty scary to go up against. Like, they're kind of reduced to using trash now, and I think there's actual trade going on this side here. I swear, I saw Caravan coming in. I don't know where the trade carts are, if there even are any. I mean, it's been kind of a mess for a while now, but oh my god. Yeah, now it's just gonna be trash. We're going full trash in a team game. The only real amount of gold units are these camel archers and like a handful of two-handed swordsmen. I want to point out that Malians can get champions. Like, that's a thing they can do, but they just haven't in this game because resources are really scarce, and I mean, dragons just have to shepherd it as much as you can. It costs gold to upgrade to champions, are you crazy? There's another gold mine here, and they're being protected by this castle. Can still mine this back stone they've got here. I say back, that used to be a forward stone, but because of how the game went, it kind of became a back. And yeah, this is the thing, I think it's really hard to actually just manage this properly. Camel archers are strong enough overall. Oh, these are the trade carts. Did they stick up markets? Yeah, they stick up markets over here, so now their trade is just gonna fall apart. Oh no! I mean, just look at the score differential here. Ning has almost 3 times the score of Dragon, and I mean it's just kind of a result of Dragon being the one to get pushed early, but also like Ning has done such a good job of actually utilizing the fact that she's in front. You know, she's taking out so much of stuff that could... Oh my god, there's a single Teuton militia in here. Yeah, you're not gonna see this stat line often. 4 armor and 40 HP. Oh no, I think she just misclicked once. And I mean, this is not easy to counter. This is a hell of a mass of just everything. This looks like an AI army in many ways. Trebuchets are now coming forward, so we're gonna see them getting yeeted from their positions. And I mean, for a while now, we talk a lot about the Teuton's slow push, but that's the slow push is what the Berbers and Malians have been doing now. Just using so much Hussar and Infantry meat shield that every minute that they get about another tile moving forward. Oh my god. Just taking out the archer. Like, yeah, at this point it's kind of fair to just start taking out archer ranges. But I wonder if we're gonna see more Hussar raids. I mean, okay, we still got 114 Hussars queued. And Dragon is actually in the lead with Ika right now. Got as much as Huni has now. Oh lord. Yeah, Teuton and Condottiero coming forward. I think those should have the +2 barracks armor. Yeah. Still missing plate mail, which is unfortunate. I mean, and here comes more forward building, so I mean this slow push isn't stopping anytime soon. And I mean the trade crush is still dying here. They're gonna have to... Oh, the Hussar raid is in here just now attacking this town center. I think Momo probably lost quite a few over there before she realized, but this is madness. This is not... Oh dear. You know, this reminds me of some campaign missions. This reminds me of some of the grindiest... This is... You know what this is? This is the Berber campaign. You're going up against Italians, which I think showed up in the Berber campaign at one point, and you're basically doing infinite resource spam against each other. That's what this looks like. Oh my god. I mean, I'm really sorry, Capture Age. You don't seem to be having a good time right now. Oh lord. Oh lord. Another gold mine is starting to go down here. It's not quite gone yet, but the actual mining... There's no mining camp here. I think that's the ruins right here. And they were destroyed. Trebuchets are coming forward. I mean... Yeah, I mean, it's not like this is a super big mine. It's about 300 gold left now, but it is still one of few actual gold mines left on the map at this point. And another castle looks like it's gonna go down. Ning leading the charge there. Trebuchets coming in here, and they're about... Yeah, they're about 2 or maybe 1,500 score ahead of Momo and Huni at this point. There's not quite enough Hussar support. She has to go back a little bit with these Campbell archers. But more pikemen coming in over here. More halberdier here. Oh boy. Yeah, I think at this point you just have to start looking. Oh, there are sneaky Huni barracks around here, as well as one stable actually. The question is if she can actually do much with them. I mean, Camel Archers are so good against Halbs. Like, I mean, to be fair, Camel Archers are just really good in general, especially if you get the Archer armor upgrades. So, yeah, the slight trickle of Halbs here from the back isn't even doing much. And Dragon starting to grab relics. I wonder if anyone's gonna notice this one. Gotta envy the fishing ships and the madness that is going on here right now, right? They're having a very good time. The last of this gold mine is exhausted, so I mean, at least you got out with that. Another castle going up. I think Momo is just gonna try to commit as much as possible to this Genoese. There are so many wasted shots against these pikemen. I mean, they have to go down, but they take so many more than they should just because of the Malian bonus. Quick check, Ning is down to only 100 Hussars queued up. and a single heavy camel. Champion is coming in! Oh, we're finally gonna see the hand of the two-handed swordsman. That's nice. That brings me peace. How many relics are we actually looking for here? Just one. I think there's another one being delivered. The one we... Yeah, the one over here. Oh boy. Actually a slight pushback from Momo and Huni, I think. But I wonder if they can actually end up dealing with mass Malian champions. One thing that's really important to note in a normal mashup, if we were just playing Italians versus Malians, Italian cheaper hand cannoniers could do really well, but in this situation they would just get sniped by camel archers. Camel archers and hussars do real well against hand cannoniers. So I don't know if that's particularly feasible. But there is a pushback here. It looks like, yeah, it looks like they're starting to mass champions, mixing me with pikemen, of course, and just getting ready to try to give it a big push and move forward. And Momo and Huni are desperately holding on to this castle here, which honestly I think is quite a good idea because it's being really annoying for some of the wood lines here for Ning and Dragon. Hussar raiding coming in here, taking out these skirmishers, and I mean there's a lot of hussars, a lot of camel archers. And I think once champions start piling up for Dragon, it's going to be really hard for Momo and Huni to actually stop that. Teuton halberdiers are, I mean they're going to do better than other halberdiers, but they're still not going to do well. And Genoese crossbowmen are so expensive that I think against Malian champs they actually are going to do quite poorly. What is this, by the way? Just a big old farming community. Yeah, they've established a bit of trade, but it's not particularly impressive. It's one market to one market and like 10 trade cards in total, maybe. Yeah, I mean, the slow push continues. We're up to an hour and 20 minutes of in-game time. And it does look like this re-push here has taken the momentum. And pretty soon, Momo is gonna start losing her actual eco. They've already lost trade card eco, they've already lost like their forward gold mines they stole from the enemy. But now, farms, wood lines, they're gonna start going down. And they just don't have the gold to keep up ARB and heavy cam production forever. They're already running out quite a bit. They've got no gold miners, no real trade card eco to speak of. And you know what kills all trash units? Malian champs. I mean, all champs really, but Malian champs are extra good at it just because they take half damage from skirms, for example. They do like Blast Furnace, so there are definitely better champs out there. But still, like, a good amount of Malian champs will just devastate anything that Momo and Huni have left. Oh my god. Okay, I think whatever Vil actually landed here got killed, but the stables are still here, so we might see some food raids. But, okay, yeah, there are only 89 hussars left in Ning's queue, and she only has about 7,000 food. And yeah, we're seeing champs, condottieros, camel archers, hussars, pikes, halbs, skirms. Everything is just smushed together here. And at the end of the day, just because of the comp from Ning and Dragon, they're pulling ahead. Another castle is gonna start going down. It looks to be the last castle here. There's still this very annoying situation here. At some point, okay, they're actually sending forward Malian champs now just to make sure that this castle is actually gonna go down this time. But yeah, this forward castle falls. So Genoese crossbowmen are kind of out of the picture now. Oh dear. And now, I think with that done, the Hussaris just have nothing stopping them apart from about 20 Teuton barracks over here. They're just gonna start making halberdiers and everything to try to counter that, but it's only gonna get so far. I do want to see this though. Okay, so they haven't noticed Teuton scout cav. This is an Italian barracks making hussars. Oh my god. After maybe 5 years of bashing, they actually made it through here, I think. Good lord, what a game. Or maybe no, they were just... okay, they were just landed. Fair enough, fair enough. But it comes too late, and it's not enough. These barracks here are gonna start cleared up once the more important lumber camps are actually down. And I don't know what you do at this point if you're Momo and Huni. This can't feel good. Like, you must have felt like you were in total control of the game, and then just like from nowhere, a million cavalrymen showed up and just started bashing you over the head. It'd be one thing if that was like a result of some really good onager hits, but no, it was just a lot of Berbers. A lot of Berbers. Oops, all Berbers. Yeah, just gonna stroll on by. Another dock coming up, so maybe there's that that cannon galleon play I suggested a long time ago. Might actually see some use here. Gonna start losing town centers though, and she actually only has 2. It's not gonna be the end of her eco or anything. Like, she still has some villagers, but I mean, she's down to 70. Huni's up to almost 160, which is a pretty silly amount. But I mean, at this point she kind of has to support Momo too, because Momo is getting trashed on the front line now. Yeah, this is brutal. Still trying to hold them off, but these are some incredibly cost-effective units. Malian champs and completely fully armored elite camel archers. These are not units you just kill with trash more often than not. There's still some trade going on here, but they have to keep shortening the trade routes. They have to keep moving them out of the way. Archer range is coming up here now from Momo on the back, and I don't know how much it's gonna... is that a... yeah, there's another TC here in the back, so gonna try to reboom. She has lost something like 80 villagers over the course of the last 30 minutes. And yeah, at this point we're just seeing Malian infantry, Berber trebuchets, just raising everything. At this point you're not really targeting things, you know, you don't have castles to kill anymore, although you're gonna set up your own here it looks like. You don't have anything in particular you're targeting, you just want everything gone. You don't want them to have production buildings, you don't want them to have pop space, you don't want them to have things anymore. Still working on getting rid of these, but it looks like Huni has given up on trying to keep them alive. Score lead is about 6,000 now for Ning and Dragon, which is kind of a crazy comeback, wouldn't you say? Still, so many production buildings to try to clear out. I mean, Huni has 9,000 wood. She's got 70 farmers. Imagine if she was a civ that could actually do Hussar spam. Oh boy. I wonder if it would be worth to research banking at this point and just start distributing food to Momo just to get more Hussar raids in. And there's actually, at last, fast fire ships are coming out from Dragon to try to reclaim the seas. I mean, that's gonna hurt. That's gonna be a lot of Momo's remaining eco is on the sea. And right now, she's just producing elite skirms. She doesn't have a lot left to play with, for sure. It's kind of Huni's game now, and I mean, I don't think Teutons really have the arsenal to go up against this. Like, something Teutons struggle a lot with are cavalry archer civs in general, and when you combine it with Hussars, and there's Huni calls the GG, Momo does so shortly afterwards. And at last, at an hour and a half into this game, in game time, it's over. Oh my god. I am almost speechless. Like, just to give some context, this used to be where Dragon started. This is her starting base. This is where Momo started. She pushed to like here. This was the front line, and then it just slowly unraveled and got wrapped up back over here. Holy moly! I mean, that was an incredible game! I'm happy for Capture Age that it's over, but a part of me is really sad that we don't get a third game out of this, because, yeah, these players were really, really close in terms of skill. Just didn't quite have the arsenal, didn't quite have the power to put Dragon down finally. She kept on living, and that ended up being enough. Like, if Dragon wasn't there to provide a meat shield with her pikemen and two-handers and eventually champions, I think Ning would have just died to Genoese. Oh my god. That was beautiful. Thank you for this game. Oh. I mean... Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I am sorry for the way Capture Age performed here. I am not... I know team games are a little bit more volatile in particular. And especially when you go very late. But yeah, I wasn't expecting that quite. Whew. Well, I am kind of glad it's over. I'm gonna be real honest. And I will just for completeness sake, I think we have to show this. I mean, Malian's dragon. Oh my gosh, he was squished to such a little... That's where you got Heavy Plow? Dragon! Oh my god. That's where you decide to get Heavy Plow? Oh, that upsets me. I don't like seeing that. Yeah, I mean, a lot of... Oh my god, these deaths, they're... Woo. Total 780. Yeah, there was a lot of people dying on the front line here. I do appreciate Dragon actually getting the relics. I mean, that ended up being super useful actually. And honestly probably helped her actually keep up the champ production. But ay. Surprisingly low techs actually. But yeah. Thank you so much for watching the first semifinals of Historical Rivalries Cup, and I will see you later.